Hello everyone, I am Sword Caliburn 687, and today I would talk about Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. If you guys really want to support this video, smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's begin the video. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds looks like a really fun game, and I would want it to be good. The Sonic series does have great locations in their games, so having a level as a CrossWorld track and a racing track would be really good. I would admit I have never played many racing games, but I can tell that Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is going to be a fantastic Sonic game. A couple of weeks ago, I had played a little bit of the network test of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and the game felt great. CrossWorlds is a fast-paced kart racing game, and the game is so much fun. The warping to different stage gimmick does make CrossWorlds stand out compared to many other racing games. Now this would be a perfect time to talk about what racing tracks that I would want in CrossWorlds. First, I would talk about a normal level and then a CrossWorld level. The reason why I want to pick a normal level and then a CrossWorld level, it is just to do this game justice when I do my stage comparison. Some of you guys that are new to Sonic Racing CrossWorlds doesn't have any idea what is a CrossWorld, and I would tell you. A CrossWorld is a special track that only appears in the second lap, and whoever's in first place gets to pick one of the two tracks. When a player picks a CrossWorld racing track, every racer gets teleported into that track. Sometimes a CrossWorld would have a different level design compared to a normal racetrack, or sometimes it could be a main racetrack. Some of these tracks that I suggested in the video are probably not going to be in CrossWorlds. If some of these tracks that I want won't show up in the main game, these tracks would be really good DLC levels. I am not gonna focus on every Sonic game for this stage selection video. I would focus on other Sonic characters having their own stages, and that would be a really cool idea. In Sonic CrossWorlds, some Sonic characters gets their own unique dialogue depending on the racetrack. I hope that more Sonic characters can get their own unique dialogue and stages other than Sonic and Shadow in CrossWorlds. The first level that I would want, it would be Stardust Speedway. I think that Stardust Speedway would be a really amazing level, all because of the time travel gimmick from Sonic CD, which would be really cool. Maybe the time travel gimmick would make the stage stand out compared to the other stages in CrossWorlds. Lap 1 of Stardust Speedway could be the good future, and lap 3 could be the bad future. Stardust Speedway would be a good fit for Metal Sonic, and I hope that it is in the game. A CrossWorld track that I would pick from Sonic CD, it would be Metallic Madness. Metallic Madness would be a really good track, and I do like the gimmick of turning small. Sega can easily use this as a gimmick in the racetrack, and it would be really cool. The second level that I would want, it would be Angel Island. We haven't had an Angel Island stage since Sonic Adventure 1, and having an Angel Island stage in CrossWorlds would be really cool. I think that Sega can combine some elements of Angel Island from Sonic Free and Sonic Adventure. What if in the Angel Island race course you start off in a jungle, but later on when you traverse through the track, you end up in the Echidna temples? I can imagine that Angel Island zone would be a medley racetrack. Maybe it would have Red Mountain Zone and Ice Cap Zone. Angel Island would be a really good racetrack for Knuckles, and I hope that it is in CrossWorlds. I would pick this track as a CrossWorld. It would be the Special Stage World. In the Sonic universe, the Special Stage dimension is created by distortions of the Chaos Emeralds, which I do find fascinating. The Mario vs. Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games has created a track for the special stages, which is really cool. Sonic Team could pick any special stage level as a CrossWorlds racing track, and it would be a cool idea. This level would be from Sonic Triple Trouble. It would be Sunset Park Zone. This level is a fan favorite from Sonic Triple Trouble, and people do like this level. Sonic Triple Trouble in Japan is called Sonic and Tails 2, and this level would really fit Tails' character. I can imagine that the carts and the explosions in Sunset Park Zone can be used as an obstacle in the stage, and it would be a good idea. One of the final parts of the track in Sunset Park Zone, you would ride on the train, and it would be a really fun idea. Recently, there was some footage of a stage that looks like Sunset Park Zone, and it does look cool. I hope that we can get an awesome remix of the original Sunset Park music, and that would be really sick. This level would be from Sonic Mania. It would be Studiolopolis. I think that Studiolopolis would be a really fun racetrack, all because it is a Hollywood-like stage. I can imagine that Studiolopolis would be a really fun DLC level, and I would want it in the game. I would pick this level from Sonic Mania as a CrossWorlds. It would be Mirage Saloon. Mirage Saloon would be a really fun desert CrossWorld, and I would want the racetrack to be good. I hope that Sega can replicate getting launched by the gun cannons in Mirage Saloon, and it would be a really fun gimmick. I would want all the classic characters to return in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and the classic characters should be a part of the roster. This level would be from Sonic Adventure 1. It would be Twinkle Park. Twinkle Park would be a really fun racetrack for Amy, and it would be a really cool idea. When you do go to a race car bumper in Sonic Adventure, you do go to a racetrack. I would want the racetrack at Twinkle Park to feel like an amusement park-like level, and it would be a great idea. I would want Twinkle Park to stand out compared to most racetracks in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. The CrossWorlds that I want from Sonic Adventure, it is Speed Highway. I can imagine that Speed Highway would be a really cool CrossWorld track, and I would want it in the game. An example of Speed Highway working as a the CrossWorlds racing track. It is Mario vs. Sonic at the Sochi Olympic Games. The speed highway at the Winter Olympic Games reuses assets from generations, and I think that Sega can recreate it. Speed highway would be a phenomenal level in CrossWorlds. Sonic Riders does have stages that represent it, like Green Cave and Babylon Garden. I would skip over Sonic Riders all because it has stages that represent it, and I would move over to Zero Gravity. I would add stages from Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. It would be 90s Boulevard and Megalo Station. Megalo Station would be a really awesome futuristic city in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and it would be a great futuristic level. 90s Boulevard would be a really fun racetrack, all because it is a city that has tons of Sega references. I think that Sega characters like Ichiban from Yakuza and Joker for Persona are probably going to get their own racetrack, and it would make sense. If some of these Sega characters don't get their own racetrack, 90s Boulevard would be a perfect level. This stage would be from Sonic 06. It would be Kingdom Valley. I can imagine that Kingdom Valley would be a really fun racetrack, all because it could utilize your different vehicle transformations. I can imagine that the Doom Surf sections of Kingdom Valley in Shadow Gens could be used as a water section for the racetrack. Maybe Sega can easily turn the gliding sections of the original Kingdom Valley into a jet car section. A CrossWorlds section that can easily fit Sonic 06, it would be Crisis City. I would want Crisis City to be a really hard and challenging CrossWorld, and it would be a really fun racetrack. I think that the lava worms or even the fire tornado can be used as an obstacle in Crisis City, and it would be really awesome. This location would be from Sonic and the Secret Rings. It would be Night Palace. Night Palace has potential to be a really fun racetrack, and it is a really cool night level. A Razor Jin with its genie powers should alter Night Palace, and it would be a really fun gimmick. I think that a Razor Jin would be a really fun racer in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and I can imagine a Razor Jin's interaction with Sonic. I can imagine in my head that a Razor Jin would call Sonic a filthy street rat when he's racing against him in CrossWorlds. This racetrack would be from Sonic and the Black Knight. It would be the Kingdom of Camelot. Within the Kingdom of Camelot from Sonic and the Black Knight, I would want it to be a medley racetrack. Within this racetrack from Sonic and the Black Knight, it would have deep woods, molten mines, and Camelot Castle. I would want the Kingdom of Camelot to feel different than Kingdom Valley, and this is why I want it to be a medley track. There is a lot of potential to represent most locations in Black Knight as a medley race course, and it is a clever idea. I hope that Black Knight gets some representation in CrossWorlds. This level would be from Sonic Unleashed. It would be Eggman Land. The reason why I want Eggman to get his own racetrack, it is because of Mario Kart. In Mario Kart, Bowser gets his own stage, and it is a hard level. Eggman Land could be something similar to that of Bowser's Castle from Mario Kart, but unique to CrossWorlds. Eggman Land should be the hardest track in the game, and it should test the player's mechanics if they mastered the level. I would pick this track from Forces. It would be Sunset Heights. This level would fit the era of Forces, and this level kinda does feel like a racetrack. Death Egg robots would be a perfect obstacle for the racetracks, and having them in the racetrack would be really awesome. The Death Egg robots would throw debris at the racer, and it would be a really fun gimmick. What if lap 3 of Sunset Heights, the city would be flooded, and it would be a cool gimmick. With the racetrack of Sunset Heights, Sega should add the custom character and Infinite. All Sega needs to do is port over the customization feature from Forces, while adding some new customization options for CrossWorlds, and it would be golden. A CrossWorld track that can fit Forces, it would be the Death Egg or Egg Gate. The Death Egg is Eggman's fortress, and it would be really cool if the racetrack has a gravity gimmick. I think that this is it. This would be a good point to end the video. Thank you for watching this video. Like, share, subscribe, but also leave a comment below if you guys really want to see more of my content. Anyway, see you guys soon.